Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to my lecture series on trigonometric equations and their solutions. So in first lecture you have seen how could we solve linear trigonometric equations. So in my second lecture I will show you how and what are the procedure to solve the quadratic trigonometric equations. Okay, so let's start. So before I will show you an example and the procedure to solve quadratic equations, I wanna provide you some terms. You should have to remember those terms to find the solution of second degree quadratic trigonometric equations. So while solving such type of trigonometric equations, you have to remember 2 points. The first point is that when you have a quadratic trigonometric equation, you have to factorize that quadratic equations by using middle term break or by using quadratic formula to reduce it into the linear factors, so that you can divide them to two linear trigonometric equation and to solve the same way as we have solved in the first lecture. So let's see an example. So the example has been shown in my screen. The question is that find the all solution of 2 sine square minus sine x minus 1 is equal to 0 and interval 0 to 2 pi. It means it's a particular solution, it's not a general solution, because we know that all trigonometric functions, the sine function has the domain set of real number. So 0 to 2 pi is the you have been asked to find the solution within its period. That will be known as your principal solutions. Okay, and I will show you how could you find the general solution as well. So as I have mentioned, to solve such type of quadratic equations, such type of trigonometric equations, you have to factorize trigonometric equations. So I will factorize my original equations into that form, that is 2 sin x plus 1 into sin x minus 1 is equal to 0. And you know how could you factorize this one by middle term break, okay, or factorization method. Okay, so these are the factors of given quadratic equations. Now split them into two linear factors, 2 sin x plus 1 is equal to 0 and sin x minus 1 is equal to 0, and solve these two simultaneous equations as you have solved in previous lecture. So this will be equal to sin x is equal to minus 1 over 2, and this linear equations will reflect sin x is equal to 1. Okay, so just think how could you solve these equations. So you have been asked to find the value of x such that the sine function will give you negative 0.5, negative minus 1 over 2. So sine have a positive value for non-quadrant angle is in the first quadrant and second quadrant. So the solution will lie definitely in the third and the fourth quadrant. Now first, before I locate my principal solution, first I wanna find its solution, its reference angle, not as solution, reference angle in a first quadrant. So what should be the value? Just think of it. Pi by 6, exactly. Pi by 6 will be the reference angle to reflect the value is equal to positive 1 over 2. Okay, so I can say I have suppose my unit circle, a circle whose radius is 1 unit. So I have suppose this one. Okay, this is my 1 and this is my also 1, this negative 1 because it's on the left hand side, it's a positive 1, and this value is my negative 1. Fine, it's a unit circle. And as I earlier mentioned, my reference angle will be pi by 6 here, pi by 6, or I can write pi by I can write it's equal to 30 degree. This is my reference angle, this is my reference angle, that is pi by 6. So sine pi by 6 is equal to positive 1 over 2. So you have to find those values which will reflect the negative 1 over 2. So this is a reference angle. This is called reference angle. It's not a solution, it's reference angle. It just give you a clue to find the principal solution within the period. It's the reference angle. Okay, so how could you find now the solution? That's very simple. It's a pi by 2. It's this one is my pi, and this is my 2 pi by 3. Okay, it's 2 pi by 3, and this one is my 2 pi. Okay, so the first principal solution here will be here. Okay, and that will be, I can write, and this value can be achieved when you add pi plus pi by 6, and your value will be equal to, the value will be 7 pi by 6. So this is my first principal solution, 7 pi by 6. Now my second principal solution will lie in fourth quadrant. Okay, this is my first quadrant. This is my first principal solution, which lie in a third quadrant. Now how can I locate my second solution in the fourth quadrant? And that can be achieved when you add 2 pi plus 3, 2 pi by 3 plus pi by 6 plus pi by 6, and you will receive the answer. When you take the LCM, this will become 6, and 3 to the 6, so it's a 4 pi, it's a 4 pi, and this is my 6, this is my pi. Okay, so the next solution will be 5 pi by 6.